Hello, this is John from 2393S. Today, I'm making a tutorial to show you how to display an image to the VEX brain with LVGL 9.2. Now, if you create a project using Pros, you can see that the latest version is 4.2. Now, 4.2 uses LVGL 9.2. I believe the earlier version of Pros 4 used LVGL 8.4, and then it used to use LVGL 5, I believe. So if it's Pros 4.2 or newer, that'll be using LVGL 9.2, which is what I'm going to be doing in this tutorial. So the first thing you're going to need to do, you're going to need to have the image that you would like to convert. Now I'm going to use our team's logo. You're going to go to their online image converter, and we're using LVGL version 9. We're going to select the file, and then for the color format, you can either have RGB 565, which is going to be just red, green, and blue with no transparent background. Now our image has a transparent background, as you can see. So I'm going to choose the one that has an alpha value or transparency. So now this site will convert it into a C array file. Now this file we can then take into our project. We need to fix a few things, such as this include. It needs to be pros and then APIX. And then second is we don't have all these LV attributes. LV probably has to come from the LVGL library name, which by the way stands for Light and Versatile Graphics Library. So you can see it has the values in hexadecimal for all the pixels. You can actually even see like the wings of the Valor bird here on the preview. Just use caution when renaming the file itself that you also rename it within the file at the bottom. So now we have this logo file fixed. We can go into the main project, and I already have this set up a little bit. The first thing we want to do is we're going to declare an object that will represent this image. It's going to be a pointer. We're going to call it the image, or IMG for image. And then where would we like to create this image object? We'd like to create it in the active or the current screen. Next, we need to tell the object where to get the data needed to render the image. Sometimes this data could be a symbol, a built-in symbol that LVGL has, a memory buffer, or in our case, this image. So we're going to set the source data of this image to our logo. Now it doesn't know what logo is. Create a variable representing the C array image. So we're going to declare an image, and it's going to be the logo image. Now we need to pass it in at reference. Now at this point, when you run the program, it should display the image to the brain. So fair enough. We run the program and no image is displayed. Alright, forgive me for that little bit of a pause. I didn't realize that I was writing all this code inside of a function, which I had planned for a reason. So make sure that you call the function instead of initialize. Now that we call the function, we should just be able to upload the project, and you should see on your brain screen that the image appears. We can optionally align the image within the screen. So we're going to set the alignment of the image to, oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, sorry. So we're aligning the image object. So LV object align, the object is going to be image. and then we're going to line it center and 0 pixels to the right of the center of the screen and 0 pixels up from the center of the screen. Now when we upload this program, we should see our image will be right at the center of the screen. Now I would like to prove to you that it stored the image as with a transparent background. I'm going to go ahead and copy over some handy dandy functions I have that will set the background color. So we're going to set the background color of our display to red. There we go. So we have accomplished our goal. We're able to convert the file to a C array, which if you don't want to be transparent, you can select the first option. However, when you use this method, uploading via the controller takes a long time because it has to send the whole contents of the image all the way over the radio connection between the radio and the brain. So instead, if you have a handy dandy SD card that you store inside your brain, you can actually store these images on the SD card. In the next tutorial, I will show you how to store the image file on the SD card and then write a program that will display that image to the brain screen.